Hey everybody, welcome back. Tonight we're going to open up the February edition of the Retrowax box by Jared at SlaterSportsCards.com. Each month he does have a different box that he puts together, all with some really cool packs, mostly from the Junk Wax era. This month does have a couple highlight packs here, so it's really cool. I've already opened it up here a little bit. We're going to go ahead and pull these out and look at the packs that are in this month's edition. So we are starting out with a 1990 Donruss rack pack with Jeff Ennis, Frank White, and Jim Abbott on the front, and then the puzzle pieces on the back. We have 1990 Upper Deck, 1994 Fleer Ultra Series 2. This is 1992 Donruss Series 1. 1994 Score Select. This one is 1992 Studio. 91 Fleer. This one I believe is 93 Donruss. I could be wrong, I can't remember, but this is Donruss Series 1. 1991 Score Series 1, 88 Donruss. This is a 1994 Collector's Choice Series 1, and then we also have a 1992 Leaf Series 1. And 1989 Score, 88 Tops, 89 Tops, 1990 Fleer. And then the highlight packs here, no particular order, we have 87 Tops, 1991 Upper Deck, Find the Nolan, as well as a Michael Jordan SP potential card inside. 1989 Fleer, don't know if this is an error pack or not, so chance at a Ripken F-face error. 89 Donruss, which if you watch my videos know this is my arch nemesis pack. I probably have opened about 3 consecutive boxes, 3.5 boxes worth, without pulling a Griffey and maybe a Sheffield. So hopefully we'll end that streak tonight with this. 87 Donruss, which is always one of my favorite packs to open. I do have a video on one of my feeds here where I did open up a pack and found a Bo Jackson, Greg Maddux, and a Barry Bonds rookie in the same pack, hoping to find Magic twice and open up an amazing pack here. 1985 Donruss, 1993 Tops, looking for a Jeter or a Jeter Gold, and then 1992 Bowman, looking for a Mariano Rivera or Mike Piazza rookie card. So some really fun packs here. So we're going to go ahead and start ripping in no particular order. We're going to go ahead and start with 1990 Fleer. Let's start off with a Cleveland Indians sticker. Nick Asaski, Eric King, Jack Armstrong, Larry Walker rookie, so nice rookie, and that's already very first pack. Dave Valley, Ernest Riles, Paul Gibson, Craig Biggio second year card, Kirk Gibson, Jim Traber, Dave Henderson, Ron Gant, Andy Hawkins, Pat Combs, who I was very high on for a while, Jeff Kunkel, and Joe Baber. So not a high value card, but one of the better cards in this set already out of the first pack with Larry Walker, rookie. Now we're going to go over to 92 Leaf. Got a lot of high value cards here, looking for Gold Leaf rookie, which there is one here. So I'm going to, oh, that's a black card. Never mind, that is a black card here. So, but Doug Henry is our black insert card there. Forgot about those cards in this pack. We should go with Bob Malacky, Delano DeShields, Mark Lemke, Dennis Eckersley, Bill Spire, Dwight Gooden, one of my all-time favorite players, Dan Gladden, Terry Pendleton, Bobby Rose, George Brett, Dave Smith, Joe Orsulak, Vince Coleman, and Gary DiSarcina. Not a great pack, but not a bad pack either. Going on to 94 Collector's Choice. Looking for, I believe, a signature card in here, gold signature in here. Hopefully. Either gold or silver in every pack. We have Jeff Facero. And I do not like these cards because they are hard to pull apart and stick together and all over the place here. We have Luis Gonzalez, Joey Cora. Our silver signature is Jim Deschaze, Ricky Bonas, Chad Curtis, Jeremy Burnitz, who I was extremely high on, Daryl Boston, Todd Jones, Johnny Ruffin is our draft pick rookie card, actually rookie card, and Jeff Granger, who was a player I really enjoyed watching pitch back then. It's a draft pick card. Now we're going to go over to 1991 score, looking for Mike Mussina rookie as the highlight card in this pack set. Start off with Doug Jones, John Farrell, Mookie Wilson, Andy Hawkins, Jose Canseco, Bobby Bonilla, Master Blaster, Bobby Thigpen, save record, Jimmy Key, Lenny Dykstra, Gerald Clark, Scott Terry, Jeff King, Mike Henneman, Dave Stewart, Bruce Hurst, and Jesse Barfield. Moving right on along, we're going to Don Russ, and I believe, again, this might be 93, but I'm not sure. It is 91. I was a year in the wrong direction there. We have Nolan Ryan highlights, Wade Boggs, Jim Presley, Billy Ripken, not the Ripken we're hoping to find tonight, Mike Moore, Todd Stottlemyre, Gary Carter, hate seeing him in a Giants uniform, Charlie Huff, the immortal, everlasting Charlie Huff, Al Newman, Ken Howell, Edgar Diaz, Kevin McReynolds, Storm Davis, and Tom Foley. Go right on into 92 Studio. Studio, always known for their glamour shot style photos. And we start off here with Oral Hershiser looking sassy. Jeff Montgomery, Delano DeShields, Paul Molitor, Paul Sorrento, Darryl Kyle, who'd left us way too early, Alan Trammell, Frank Tanana, Wade Boggs, Sid Breen, Hughie Brooks in Deep Thought, and Joe Girardi. Moving on to 94 Score Select. I don't know much about the set. I've never collected this back in the day, so I don't really know what's in this set. We do have James Hurst, Rookie Prospect. Chris Turner, Rookie Prospect. Ozzie Guillen. And we have Al Martin, Pedro Estacio, Greg Maddux, Roberto Mejia, Archie Cianfrocco, a name I love saying out loud, David McCarty, Chip Hale, Steve Carsey, who I was extremely high on, and Darryl Strawberry, another player I hate seeing in a non-Mets uniform. Obviously, I am a Mets fan. Moving right on along to 92 Don Russ. Not a lot in this set here, but it's always fun to open them anyways. Darren Dalton, Juan Berenger, Eddie Zosky, Frank Seminara, Craig Lefferts, Jose Rijo, John Crook, Terry Pendleton, Roberto Alomar, Kevin Reimer, Hal Morris, Steve Finley, Greg Gagne, Wade Boggs, and Barry Jones. Moving on to 94 Fleer Ultra. And I've never collected cards in 94, so don't really know what's in these sets here, but I do love these cards. This is Dave Tailgater, who is actually a player that threw a perfect game in the minor leagues. It was the first perfect game in Tidewater Tides, Norfolk Tides history. And of course, I was at camp that week, and it was the very first game I missed all season long. And it was a game that haunts me forever. Delano DeShields, Joe Gray, Greg Vaughn, Billy Ashley, Dave McCarty once again, Henry Rodriguez, Kevin King, Kirk Gibson, Jose Hernandez, Dan Wilson, Mark Keifer, and then we have Barry Bonds All-Star. Not a bad little pack there, especially for the sentimental value of Dave Tailgater, which I'm going to pull out just because that's probably his only card that I know of that he had. All right, so now to Upper Deck 1990. Looking for a Ben McDonald error card. Quite a few errors in this set. I don't really know all of them. But always a fun set to open, even though the cards are all over the place. We start off with Glenn Wilson, Roger McDowell, Sweet Lou Whitaker, Chet Lehman, Todd Zeal rookie, which would have been a hot card to open up back in 1990, Andy McGaffigan, Jim Traber, and who is he stuck to? Matt Noakes. Our hologram sticker of the pack is the Baltimore Orioles. I love these holograms. Julio Franco, the dorky antics of Jeff McKnight, who's always got a chance to watch him play for the Tides, but he's a good minor league player, just never always had weird glasses. Bob Melvin, Greg Olson, Mike Scott and the team checklist, Jason Grimsley and Mackie Sasser. That particular card I did have autographed by Mackie Sasser at one point. I don't know if I still have it or not after my fire, but I think I do. 91 Fleer with the banana yellow cards. None of the inserts are in this pack here, so we start off with Andy Van Slyke, Craig Wilson, Mark Whitten, Mike Hartley, Bernie Williams, or Eddie Williams. I was going to say, I don't remember Bernie Williams playing for the Padres. Kevin McReynolds once again, Bo Allred, Bob Boone, Ken Patterson, Wade Boggs, Dave Clark, Pedro Guerrero, Mike Jeffcoat, and Jose Vizcaíno, as Harry Carey would always enjoy saying. And our sticker is the Detroit Tigers. I'm going to move on to 1988 Topps, looking for a Keith Comstock error, a card I've never packed pulled. Quite a few errors, none of them have any significant value. Looking for Ken Caminiti and Tom Glavine rookie cards. Ray Quinones, Steve Keifer again, Paul Molitor, Kurt Young, Mark Clear, Pat Keaty, Wade Boggs, and a lot of these packs tonight, which can't get tired of getting Wade Boggs cards. Propaganda Piece, Tom Bolton, Donnie Moore, Dave Magadan, Mike Jackson, Nolan Ryan, always a hot pick. Checklist, Rob Ducey, and John Smiley, looking really mad at the world. All right, as we wind down with the lower end packs, we're going to go over to 89 Score. Second year Score, probably my favorite set of Score and design. It's not really a popular set, not a lot of big rookies in here, mainly Griffey. But I love the way the set was designed, especially back then. We have Ellis Burks, Fred McGriff, Mark McGuire, so hot picks right at the start. Brian Harvey, Shane Mack, Guillermo Hernandez, Frank Viola, Jerry Don Gleaton, Greg Booker, Mike Smithson, Sean Hillegas, Joaquin Andujar, Craig Reynolds, Oswald Peraza, Greg Blauser, and John Perelman. So none of the rookies made it into this pack. And then we go with my favorite absolute favorite design set ever is 89 Topps. Again, not a high value set, but I just love the way that these cards were designed. And we start off with a decent player, Joe Carter, Robin Yount, Tom Lawless, Bobby Thigpen, Brian Harper, Danny Darwin, Joe Morgan, Propaganda Piece, Barry Jones, Rafael Belliard, Guillermo Hernandez again, Andre Dawson, Tommy Lasorda, Steve Ontiveros, Big Cat Andres Galarraga, and Kevin McReynolds being record breaker, 21 steals without being caught. Sure that has been broken by now. And then our final set, which is another one of my arch nemesis. I'm still trying to pull a Roberto Alomar. I've never pack pulled a Roberto Alomar, so hopefully tonight will be it. And we start off with Andy Van Slyke, Randy Bush, Willie Upshaw, The Hawk, Andre Dawson, Lee Guterman, Robbie Thompson, Mike Diaz, Kurt Stillwell, David Palmer, Randy Reddy, The Wizard Ozzie Smith, Glenn Wilson, Billy Hatcher, Carlton Fisk, and Mike Stanley. So still no Roberto Alomar. Now, we'll go ahead and open up the rack pack here. I almost forgot to do that. Again, a lot of error cards in the set. A lot of nice rookies, but the set just overproduced, and a lot of the rookies just didn't pan out long term. So not a lot of value here. Doubt we'll find a Juan Gonzalez reverse negative, but that would be another amazing error that I have never pack pulled. Don't know if that can be found in the rack packs, but we will open it up and find out. Again, we start off with Jim Abbott, Carlos Quintana, Randy Reddy, Paul Sorrento, Terry Steinbach, Tom Glavine, Jesse Barfield, Mark Portugal, Tim Laudner. I always had thought his name was Launder until very recently, but it is Laudner. Steve Bedrosian, Henry Cotto, Ben McDonald, rookie, which was a hot pull back in the day, Julio Machado, now known as a murderer, Hal Morris, Joey Albert Bell, and John Olerud. So a lot of good cards in the set if you open it up back in 1990. Frank White, Bo Diaz, Wade Boggs once again, Jose De Leon, Mike Greenwell, Bobby Bonilla, Alan Trammell, Pete O'Brien, Vance Law, Mike Stanton, Greg Hibbard, Jerry Reed, Tom Candiotti, Steve Jeltz, Doyle Alexander, Carlos Martinez, Jeff Innes, Derek Lilliquist, Rafael Palmeiro, Paul Molitor, Jeff Musselman, Terry Bross, Jamie Moyer, Kurt Wilkerson, Willie Randolph, Jack Clark, Chris Bosio, Tony Armas, Joe Girardi, Eric Davis All-Star, Tim Wallach, and Cal Ripken. So that would have been a hot rack pack to open up back in 1990. Not so much today. All right, so now we're going to go over to the bigger hit card packs here. I don't even know where to begin. We are going to say Bowman and 85 Don Russ at the end, as well as 93 Topps. Let's go ahead and open up 91 Upper Deck. Some good rookies in the set here. Chipper Jones, but mainly looking for the Michael Jordan card here. So we have a Barry Bonds team checklist. Chuck Knobloch. We have a Yankees hologram that, while I love the holograms, I hate the Yankees. Dave Martinez, Juan Samuel, Gary Sheffield, Bobby Thigpen, Mark Knudsen, Scott Ruskin, Eric Karros. No Mike Piazza to be found. He's very sad. Mike Jackson, Scott Gereltz, Lloyd Mosby, Luis Gonzalez, Kenny Rogers, and Chuck Malone. So none of the big names rookies in that one. Next, we are going to go with, let's do 87 Topps. Looking for Bo Jackson, Bonds, among other rookies here. I have not pulled a big rookie out of this set in a while here, so hopefully we'll get one tonight. We have Manny Lee, Bobby Witt, which was actually a pretty nice rookie card to get back in the day, Tony La Russa, Kurt Gibson, the dreaded checklist, Jeff Heron, who I do not ever remember seeing that card before, George Frazier, Keith Atherton, the propaganda piece, Mark Thurman, Tim the Rock Reigns, Ozzie Guillen, Jerry Narron, Gino Petrallo, Tom Niedenfer, Bill Schroeder, Doug Corbett, and Greg Gagne. So none of the big cards in that pack either. Let's go ahead and do 89 Fleer. Again, hoping for the big hit of Billy Ripken Error. Also Griffey Rookie, among other cards that we might find in here. And this one has the quad stickers: Indians, Tigers, Royals, and Brewers. Will Clark, Paul Mero, Kurt Ford, Carmen Castillo, Gary Carter, Rick Shue, Paul Mirabella, Tom Gordon, Keith Miller, Brooke Jacoby, Jose Rijo, Sean Hillegas, Atlee Hammaker, Mike Boddicker, and Damon Berryhill, and Greg Brock. So again, not much in that pack either. And we'll go ahead and do my arch nemesis here, Don Russ. Get it out of the way. Hopefully look for a Griffey, but not expecting one with my luck. And we start off with Darnell Coles, Pat Borders, Steve Lombardozzi, Vince Coleman, Dwayne Ward, Randy Bush, Will Clark, Rick Aguilera, Drew Hall, Andres Thomas, Don Robinson, Felix Fermin, Dennis Rasmussen, Ron Oster, and Greg Harrison. My luck continues. All right, so we get to the final four here. I'm going to go ahead and open up 87 Don Russ. And we start off with Randy Hunt. There's a Larkin rookie, so definitely not a bad card out of that set right away. Phil Garner, Pete Incaviglia, Cal Ripken, the Hawk Andre Dawson, Sid Fernandez, Rick Russell, George Brett, Gene Garber, Andre Thornton, Robbie Thompson, the dreaded checklist for Diamond Kings, Mickey Hatcher, and Ken Daly. So none of the big rookies, but Barry Larkin is definitely a nice one to get. All right, so now we'll go ahead and do 93 Topps. Only started really opening these recently, have never pulled a Jeter that I am aware of. If I did, I had no idea who he was at the time and didn't pull the card, and it probably got destroyed in transit to college. And we start off with Charlie Hayes, Pat Borders, Scott Ruskin, Jim Leyritz, Roberto Alomar. Our gold card is not a Jeter. It is Derek Bell, who, if you ever want to see a funny video, look up Derek Bell Jeep giveaway prank. That was really funny. Kirk Knudsen, Kevin Apier, Rob Ducey, Craig Wilson, Tim Burke, Mike Scioscia, Leo Gomez, Ray Langford, and Pat Howell, who was extremely fast but couldn't do much else. And we'll go ahead and do 85 Don Russ next. Save Bowman for last. We'll go for some pretty cool rookies in the set here. I've only opened up a handful of these packs here, so this is kind of a neat adventure for me. Bill Doran, Al Cowens, Randy Lurch, Scott Bradley, Craig Lefferts, and the legendary Rusty Kuntz. Steve Bedrosian, Larry Sorensen, Joaquin Andujar, Cecilio Guante, Sid Breen, Mark Huisman, Rod Carew, Hubie Brooks, and Claudel Washington. So no big stars, but an amazing legendary card. And down to our final pack here, 92 Bowman. Definitely would not mind either Mike Piazza or a Mariano Rivera rookie. Never pack pulled either one of them. We start off with Julio Franco, Randy Johnson, Will Clark, Roberto Alomar, Butch Husky, who I was also extremely high on at one point, Bip Roberts, Aaron Seeley, who also was a very high sought-after prospect. Rick Green. Jeff Bagwell, second year. Jerry DiPoto. Pedro Martinez. Ramon Martinez. Edgar Martinez. So Martinez, law firm. And Steve Finley. So didn't get any of the big hits. Got a lot of fun cards in this set, or this box. Again, half the fun is opening up the packs and the hope that you're going to find something big. Getting the Larkin, Todd Zeal, Nolan Ryan, and Larry Walker. Again, nothing too great in this set here. A few other pretty big hits there. Definitely would have been a bigger hit back in the 90s. But always a fun open. I do want to thank Jared for putting these boxes together each month. Please like and subscribe if you would like to watch me open up more packs. Appreciate your support. Comment, let me know what your favorite card is. If there's any cards that I missed that I should have highlighted, please let me know. But I hope to see you again in the near future. But thanks for stopping in. Good night, everybody.